your girl. Hey queens and kings, welcome back to the channel. It is Queen of Kings back with another video. Today's video is going to be about the twins. I've officially reached 1 month post-op and I am so excited to give you guys all the deets. I'm still over the moon and like just so proud of myself, and I just feel so accomplished for even going through with the surgery. If you guys seen my breast augmentation vlog, you guys know I was a hot mess, as I am often. It was a little bit, what's the word? It was a little disheartening for me to see in the comments some people saying like, oh, she's dramatic, she acts like a child. It just shows the lack of education and lack of awareness to what others go through suffering actual anxiety disorder. Well, everyone gets anxiety every now and again, but there's actual people with anxiety disorder that has to deal with this on a daily basis, whose life literally is in trembles because of this disorder. I know it's hard for us to feel empathy or sympathize with someone when we're not going through it, or when we could not even imagine the situation or the pain. But I just ask that you do expand your mind, because you can never imagine how it truly feels to live with anxiety disorder.
Any other medical problems I should be aware of?
No.
Just drop dead gorgeous. Is that medical? You take a deep breath in your nose. In your nose. In your nose.
Get back real quick.
Some people have way more like health issues than me, and they're fine.
Yeah. If you were healthy, you would be great.
You're fine. Baby, come on. Hey. I understand. You're in your head. It's your head that's in control of your mood. You're sitting there thinking about worse things, and you're thinking about best things. You're in control of the way you feel. Okay.
Nevertheless, let's hop into the video. I got my breast done April 24th. It is May 25th. It's officially been 1 month with the girls and it's been amazing. I know if you guys you guys that have been here for a minute, y'all like, she ain't put those things away yet, and I literally have not. I literally haven't put them away, you guys. I mean, you must understand. Let's jump into why. Why did I get them done in the first place? I am 30 years old. I gave birth to my first child at 20. I have 4 sons and I've breastfed exclusively all of them for 2 years each, and that's minimum. Rais went he went to 3. Rais went about to 3. Raiden stopped because I was in the middle of a divorce, so he stopped right around 1. And River, I stopped him early at 8 months. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done, but I stopped him early at 8 months because I wanted to invest in myself. I knew I was in this transition where I know that I'm now done having children and I want to start pouring into myself. So I said, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta do it, like, and so I'm gonna stop breastfeeding so that I could get it done. I knew I wanted to get it done when I turned 30. And so I knew I wanted to be done having babies when I turned 30. Like I said, no more babies. After 30, I had my last son at 29. And I said, well, I will not be getting pregnant after 30 years old at all. Because I spent my whole 20s giving birth and breastfeeding. And all the mother, I did the mother thing. I did the wife thing, you know. So, yeah. That is why I got my breasts done. They were, like I said, I'm 30 years old. My breasts 100% looked like they were 70. And that's not dramatic. And there's even some 70-year-old women with more beautiful breasts than the way that mine looked. They quite literally were sagging to the floor and they had 0 volume. I'm already a petite girl. And so, yeah, they had no volume at all. I was about a deflated A or B. It was bad. I was a deflated B because I was a nice pretty B before I started having children, and then after I was a very sagged out deflated B. So what did I get done? I got a breast augmentation, which is breast implants with a lift.
7.5. Base diameter is 11.5. Nipple to nipple is 17. Sternal notch to nipple on this side is 22.5. Nipple to crease is also 7.5, and base diameter is also about 11.5. So this breast naturally sits just a little bit lower than this one where the areola position is. Everybody has sisters, not twins, right? That's just the normal human anatomy. After this procedure, they're going to look more like each other, but if you look under a microscope, they're still going to have slight differences, and part of that has to do with rib cage anatomy. One side's always the wide side, one side's always the narrow side, and it also slightly has to do with how the breasts sit on the chest wall, right? That being said, in terms of position, so this distance to here is about 22, and remember I told you that number was about 2 centimeters that I could raise the breast. So if I raise the areola about 2 centimeters with that lift that we're talking about, which is around the areola lift, and then we fill in that volume, it's going to look like a lifted breast that's nice, full, and perky, and has that pretty volume.
The regular lift is a lollipop lift where it goes around the areola, it goes down, and then there's an anchor scar. So that's quite a bit of scarring. My doctor did just a circumareola lift where he just takes skin from around your areola. He also makes your areola smaller in the process, which is amazing because by the end of it, we know that the areola gets larger when we are pregnant or give birth so that the baby can see where to feed from. So my areola was covering my whole little saggy breast. So he did make my areola smaller while lifting my breast, and then the implant to give it fullness. I asked him, like, I do not want to lift. I 100% do not want to lift. And he's like, that's just not an option. I take great passion in my craft, and I'm not going to do something that's just not going to look good.
So if I do big, there's just no way that I can not get a lift.
So we're talking, remember we talked about doing around the areola lift, an areola reduction essentially. That areola reduction is essentially going to be part of your lift. That allows me to raise the areolar complex about 2 centimeters, okay, which is a lift in itself. And by adding the volume, that combination is going to give you a small lift without putting the lift incisions on the breast, which is, I know what you're trying to avoid, right?
No, I'm actually trying to make the time that I'm under general anesthesia as short as possible. So I know, like, it can be like 40 minutes by you just whoop.
Yeah.
Do you think you could maybe demonstrate what it would look like in the mirror for her?
No, it's not even that.
It's about
I would love
time.
a lift.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I know my body is so sensitive to like medication. I don't even, when I'm on my worst cycle, take ibuprofen. So I just want to stay as little possible time under anesthesia as possible.
Yeah, understood. And so, you know, if we were to just put in the implant, right, and not do any lift, even if we did a fuller size implant, for you particularly, this is the great analogy of a rock in a sock, and you know it's true.
That's
right?
what her guy told her.
Yeah, it's essentially a rock in a sock in the sense that the implant sits in the lower part of the breast, and there's really no shape, no volume, and it's not aesthetically beautiful.
Do you want to do surgery twice or once, Rose?
I'll do twice with shorter anesthesia time.
But see, it's actually safer to do one anesthesia that's contiguous and efficient, because every time you go through the full anesthesia process, the beginning of the anesthesia process is getting you to sleep and prepping you for surgery. And if we do that in one shot, it's actually going to be less anesthesia time. Yeah.
Baby, you're basically telling an artist how to paint. In a sense.
No, but I also understand the concern, right?
You know, so my thought was that I just wanted at least something on my chest. I wanted them to be full again, but I was just afraid, to be honest. It was my first time going under general anesthesia, and I wanted the surgery to be as short as possible. It scared me, the thought of this surgery being 2 hours. With just an implant, you can cut that down to 45 minutes. Y'all, my baby just woke up. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. Let's go to what size did I get. I got 340 cc's Motiva Demi is the type of implant that I got. Under or over the muscle. I got my implants over the muscle.
They look great. And we ended up going with the 340. So the 360 was too big. She has such a tiny frame that the 340 was
good. That'll make her happy too.
Yeah,
that's a good looking 340.
Yeah. It fits her frame beautifully. The lift looks awesome.
She saw this video?
No, she hasn't seen it yet.
She saw a mirror?
Yeah. And then that's for where she was before. Yeah.
She's gonna be happy.
Yeah. So.
I know so many women get them under the muscle, but if you're a very active person or an athletic person like I am, it's best to go over the muscle, because under the muscle can give like implant deformity. I don't know if you guys know, like, so some women can like I'm flexing my chest right now and you don't see anything, but women with them under the muscle, when you flex the chest, like they move, the breast moves like that, like very abnormally. Also, just like when you do certain movements, it'll move. And it's also harder you just have less range of motion because they cut and lift your pectoral muscle. I just didn't see a point. It's also a much more difficult, more painful recovery. And I know that I'm a baby, so I just wanted like the least problems. I don't want no problems. Okay. So I was just like, just put it over the muscle. That's just what I found best for me. There's many reasons I think that you should do your research on it, but especially just being an active person, I wanted my full range of motion. Also, sometimes with under the muscle, something happens where the muscle is literally pushing on the implant, and so the rib cage, it actually goes inward like this because of the implant after so long. So I didn't want those problems. Also, if it's time to remove the implant can like create a capsule that sticks to your rib cage, and sometimes even go into like your heart, because your rib cage has the little spaces or gaps, and the implant can kind of get connected to your heart, your lungs, just problems that I just didn't see the point in. So I just rather have it above the muscle. Some people don't like above the muscle, especially if they're doing saline implants, because there can be some rippling, and that's why I did not get saline. That is why specifically my doctor recommended Motiva Demi implants, because they don't move, they don't ripple, and they have less than 1% capsular contracture rate.
This is the Neutrel, the Allergan implant, right? What happens when I put this up?
Yeah.
You see how it folds, right? This is essentially the pocket in the body gives it a little bit more compression, but you can see the second that you stand up, there's folds that are created, right? Now, when it's under the muscle presses on this, and it eliminates some of those folds. And so then you see the roundness underneath, right? Now, I'm going to show you a direct example with that Motiva implant. And so this is the Motiva implant, this is the round implant. What happens when I hold it up?
It's good still.
Right? It still holds its shape, right? The chances of rippling with this implant are significantly less than that. And that's why there's a few things about how this was designed to be able to go subfascial, which is over the muscle, underneath the lining or the fascia of the muscle, to have a lower chance of that happening, and also to give a nice pretty round shape, and it holds its shape. Whereas this gives you more of a natural kind of teardrop shape to a certain extent, but then that rippling is something that needs to be taken
Pretty
into
drastic,
consideration when you're looking at the position of the implant in the body, right?
Yeah.
And so when this implant's used underneath the muscle, it's beautiful, right? Or if there's more than 2 centimeters of skin pinch in the upper breast, that would give enough coverage of this so that you don't see that, right? But given how much volume loss and how very little tissue you have, that's a really, really big consideration.
And so I think that's beautiful, and I think that's just, I wanted saline, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted saline, but my doctor's like, no, if you want this that bad, my love, I'm so sorry, but I'm not the one for you. I'm gonna do what's best for you. So you really have to trust your surgeon, you guys, because sometimes they just know. Like, when I first got my breasts, I was so disappointed. I thought they were so large. You guys have to, first of all, excuse my kids, but check out the video. It's going to be linked in the description below of my actual breast augmentation vlog. But I really do recommend that you thoroughly do your research on your surgeon. There is I think it's a website called Real Self, where people leave real reviews if they are angry at your doctor, if anything happened with your doctor, if they've had any fatalities or anything crazy. You can find out on that website. I really recommend that you just thoroughly do your research on your doctor and just trust him with your life, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're trusting that doctor with your life. So, and not just that doctor, but his anesthesia team as well. So I really do trust and did trust my doctor, leading me to who was my doctor.
There they are. How you doing? I see you're nervous. It's okay. I promise you, we're gonna take care of you.
You're doing
Everybody here is here to take care of you. Number one, first and foremost, right? We're gonna make sure we keep you safe, in addition to getting you that beautiful result and getting you through this procedure, okay? And these are the meds that are gonna start calming your nervous system a little bit, getting you to feel a little bit better before we even go in there to kind of just quiet everything down for you, okay?
My doctor was Nathaniel Villanueva. I will link his contact information and Instagram in the link below. If you guys do decide to go to him, please do let him know you guys saw or were referred to him by Rose Miller, aka Queen of Kings, and he will take great care of you. How much was the procedure? For me, the procedure was $12,000. The actual price for the procedure is $20,000, but I did do a collaboration with the doctor, so for me, it was $12,000. It will not be that price for you. You should look more towards $20,000 for something like this. I believe for just the breast augmentation will be $12,000, but if you get a lift, then it's going to be closer to $20,000. What was the pain level? You guys, my doctor uses a method called the 24-hour method, where you're back to normal activity within 24 to 48 hours. And honestly, I could say, River, stop. I low-key wasn't sure, like you guys gotta ignore my baby. Just ignore my baby, okay? We gotta see it through, my boy. We gotta get through this video. And my husband is at work, so if I don't do it, it's not gonna get done. So we're gonna do it with distractions and all. Where were we?
I'm done.
You're all done? Hold on, okay? He uses a method where you're back to normal activity within 24 to 48 hours, and that is legit, you guys. The fact that I did not use a single narcotic. I say this to just give praise to my doctor, because the method that he uses, where he goes, when he's inside, he's very particular and very careful with the tissues inside, where he's not just yanking and pulling so that you have extra pain that's unnecessary after. He's very careful when he's inside of you. Along with the medications, he puts long-lasting, what is it called? Like long-lasting local anesthetic inside of you while he's in there to minimize pain for you after surgery. No. Alright, we gotta get my baby. 1 second. I don't know if I mentioned, but I am on a way to a pool party, so that is why I am wearing a swimsuit. Did I answer all of you guys' questions? The sides, the pain, the doctor. Yeah, this was my first surgery ever, you guys, so I was very beyond afraid, and it's just the fact that my doctor prayed with me for me. That was that was everything. Actually, I live in Las Vegas and the doctor is in Beverly Hills. So when I did my consultation, I was like, will you pray with me? And he said yes. Sold. What doctor? Like, yeah, you're sold.
For you in this day, to thank you, Lord, for everything, to thank you for our lives, to thank you for our blessings. We ask you, Father, to please be with us in this day. Please protect and bless Rose. Bless and protect all of our team so that everything can go well and she can achieve the goals that she's looking for, Father. But most importantly, that she comes out healthy and well. We ask you for all of these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Let's do it. Yes. Hi. I feel like my doctor really cares about people. Like he said, you don't need this. He straight up told me, you don't need this. You want it. So at any point where you feel uncomfortable, we can just not do this. I don't feel like with my doctor, it's just about money. I feel like he really cares about making women happy. And like he said, he really feels like for me, this surgery is kind of a reconstruction surgery, which ultimately it is, because my breasts were not like that. It's reconstruction post motherhood and post birthing babies and getting your titties off. Okay, so yeah, guys, I'm happy. I am. As moms, I feel like we definitely deserve to pour back into ourselves. We definitely look at my baby is like a mess right now. We definitely deserve to pour back into ourselves. We definitely deserve to feel beautiful and sexy and all of the things. We make such a large sacrifice by birthing these little beings and all the things that we do for them. So it's definitely okay for us to feel beautiful, feel sexy, and pour back into ourselves. Anyone that tells you it's not, honey, because if they could pick their titties up off the floor, I'm sure they would as well. Okay? Who wouldn't want to pick their titties off the floor? I don't know. You do you. But as for me, baby, I'm going to turn up. My husband's calling. Yes, honey.
Hey, sorry, I'm doing those orders stuff for your sister. But I was just leaving, and I'm like, I forgot to ask my wife, do you want a salad for me or anything?
I'll have the broccoli cheddar soup.
Soup, you want no salad or nothing?
Okay, guys, I'm going to call this video a video. The pain was not bad. I don't know if I fully went through that. The pain was, I still have the narcotics in there. I took Tylenol extra strength for 3 days, and that's it.
However, I will take care and try to get you comfortable as I can.
My body reacts really funky to medication, so I want to try to have like as little
as possible. For sure.
Yeah, because she's technically allergic to aspirins and antibiotics.
So I was up and moving the same day of surgery. It's amazing. And would I do it again? 10 times over again. 10 million times. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Oh. I hate when I'm doing a YouTube video and then somebody just kind of in. You guys, my sister's looking at me. Thank you. Woo! She actually got the vocals. Lay! Really quick, hurry. Okay, go, pull a every woman, it's all in me. I'm every woman, it's all in me. Ooh, shaka now. She's an actual singer, you guys. I will put her link to her YouTube channel in the description as well. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please check out the description. I have some ultra fun links for you guys. Everything y'all looking for is in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, y'all, I love y'all so much. Peace. Look at how I do my kisses now. So cutesy. Bye.